Imagine waking up to the cold stone walls of a house you cannot leave, your life no longer your own. Imagine being a girl of 13, chosen not for your talents, not for your dreams, but for a sacred duty that binds your every thought, your every heartbeat to the fate of an empire. Now imagine making a mistake, a slip, a moment of human weakness, and everything you've been taught, everything you've been protected for, turns against you. The whispers start in the streets. The officials look at you with thinly veiled suspicion. The gods themselves seem to turn their eyes away. And then one day, they come for you. The Romans did not punish ordinary crimes with subtlety. For the Vestal virgins, women sworn to purity for 30 years, guardians of Rome's most sacred flame, betrayal was a crime not only against law, but against the gods themselves. And the punishment was a terror designed to destroy not just the body, but the soul. Burial alive. Immurement, a chamber underground, cold and silent, where the air itself feels like a noose. There was no glory. There was no mercy. There was only darkness, isolation, and the slow, inevitable crushing of a human spirit. This is not a story often told. History whispers it in fragments, and most turn away. But Hidden Secret Tales brings it to light, and what you are about to hear may haunt you long after the story ends. Rome was a city of marble, fire, and blood. Its streets echoed with the footsteps of generals and senators, the cries of traitors, and the roar of the Colosseum. Every triumph, every conquest, every monument existed to show the world that Rome was eternal, untouchable, and omnipotent. But Rome had its shadows. Beneath the public face of grandeur and victory lay a society obsessed with control, with ritual, and with fear. And no institution reflected this obsession more than the Vestal virgins. These girls were chosen between the ages of 6 and 10. Their families gave them over to the state, often reluctantly, for the promise of honor, and sometimes under pressure from the gods themselves. According to superstition, in the house of the Vestals, they were educated in sacred rites, trained to keep the eternal flame burning, and taught that their very existence was tied to the city's survival. To the citizens, they were untouchable, even revered. To the state, they were symbols of divine order. And to themselves, they were prisoners of fate. A Vestal could enjoy privileges no other Roman woman could imagine: independence from their fathers, property rights, political influence, and respect from even the most powerful men. Yet all these gifts were chained to one unforgiving rule: absolute chastity. One betrayal, real or imagined, could destroy everything, and the punishment would be unimaginably cruel. Imagine being 12, thrust into a life where your value is measured by your purity, where your every word, glance, and thought is scrutinized, where a single mistake could doom not only you, but also bring the wrath of the gods upon the city. Life as a Vestal was both privilege and prison. These women walked the streets of Rome with honor, attended feasts, and performed rituals that even emperors watched with awe. Yet their lives were confined to the house of the Vestals, a sacred fortress in the Forum where curiosity could not enter, and the outside world existed only in rumors and whispers. Rivalries grew among them. Jealousy simmered quietly behind the sacred walls. Some girls envied the wealth, some the attention, some the freedom that came from being a sacred symbol. Accusations could be made with a glance, a hushed word, or a political motive, and once accused, escape was impossible. Imagine being accused falsely, knowing that your voice may not save you, that the city itself expects your punishment. Rome's obsession with purity was rooted in fear. Fear of the gods, fear of disaster, fear of losing control. and the punishment for breaking a Vestal's vow was both horrifying and symbolic. The state could not spill her blood, for the gods would punish such an act. So instead, they designed a method that would kill her slowly, terrify all witnesses, and assert the empire's absolute power. Accusation was swift. Gossip became law. Politics became a weapon. Take, for example, the story of Tuccia, a Vestal in the late Republic, a rival jealous of her beauty and her favor with certain senators, whispered claims of impurity. The city's officials, fearful of divine retribution, began investigations. Tuccia protested, of course, but her words were meaningless against the weight of superstition. Or consider Cornelia, another Vestal, accused of a clandestine relationship with the politician's son. Even if innocent, the suspicion alone was enough. The Senate demanded punishment, not justice. Rome needed symbols, not innocence. And the ritual punishment of immurement, burial alive, was the ultimate warning to all. Disobedience would not be tolerated. The accused Vestal had no escape. Her family could not intervene. She could not run. The city demanded compliance, and the punishment itself was designed to haunt the imagination. Imagine being led into a chamber underground, stone walls damp and cold. Imagine the heavy doors closing behind you, the air thick with dust and fear. You are alone. The only things with you are a small loaf of bread, a cup of water, and the suffocating knowledge that you are about to die. Slowly, painfully, intentionally. The Romans believed that spilling a Vestal's blood would anger the gods, so they built a punishment that violated her in every other way possible. Immurement was not immediate death. It was psychological torture, isolation, darkness, fear, and the slow gnaw of hunger and thirst. Above ground, the city continued. Festivals were held. Senators debated, children played. The punishment was hidden, yet everyone knew its terror. It was whispered about in the streets. The Vestal who broke her vow lives no longer. Some historians recount that the women cried, prayed, and screamed. Some succumbed silently. Some maintained their dignity until the end. But the effect was always the same. A woman, revered moments before, reduced to fear, isolation, and slow death. Immurement was more than punishment. It was a political tool. Senators and magistrates could use accusations to remove rivals, to intimidate opponents, or to show their devotion to the gods. Rome thrived on fear. By punishing a Vestal publicly, even if the punishment itself was hidden, the city sent a message. Purity is sacred, disobedience is deadly, and the gods are always watching. Imagine a city where the line between superstition and law blurred, where one false accusation could end your life, where the elite manipulated fear as easily as coins, and where women, even those chosen to serve the gods, could become pawns in a deadly game. Behind the rituals, behind the politics, were real human tragedies. Women torn from their families, forced into isolation, living under constant surveillance. Some endured decades of service without faltering. Others, accused falsely, faced the terror of immurement. The psychological impact was immense. Imagine spending years in devotion, knowing that one mistake could destroy your body, your mind, and your reputation. Imagine the loneliness, the despair, the creeping terror of knowing death waits silently beneath your feet. Hidden Secret Tales remembers these women not as symbols, not as history notes, but as real humans. Their suffering, their fear, their resilience deserves to be remembered. The punishment of the Vestal virgins reflects a darker truth about humanity. Power, fear, and obsession often outweigh justice and compassion. The story of immurement reminds us that empires, for all their grandeur, often thrive on cruelty hidden in shadows. Today, we marvel at Roman monuments, study its history, and admire its civilization. But the screams of the Vestals echo faintly through time, a reminder that behind every empire's glory lies a human cost. What would it be like to be chosen, revered, and trapped? To live knowing that one mistake could bury you alive? This is the shadow history textbooks seldom tell. The forbidden story that hidden secret tales brings into the light. And perhaps that is the most haunting lesson of all. Sometimes history's greatest horrors are the ones hidden in plain sight, carefully preserved beneath layers of tradition, fear, and reverence.